Hello, my detoxing lovelies. Happy Friday. I am so excited to do this first live Q&A with you. I can understand that a lot of you might not be able to attend. You might be at work. There's time zone difference. But I thought I'd just pick a time and answer your questions. And you can watch the playback. And if you can join, that's great. As I posted already in the group today, I'm going to plan to do the lives at different times of my day on Fridays so that you should be able to catch me at some point live. And I will try and let you know longer in advance when I plan to do a live. But life has been very hectic at the moment, so I really wasn't sure when I was going to squeeze this in today. But the most important bit is that I answer your questions, right? That's what we want. So I've been given a lot of questions by you already, which I'm very excited about. That shows that you are excited and that you're ready to start detoxing. If all is well, all of you should have received their protocols via email this past week. Some of you didn't receive it, and that should be fixed by now. If you haven't received it still, though, please let me know. Either comment below on this video, that's a good spot that I'll check, or feel free to write admin@homeopathy.com, and we'll sort that out for you. As far as the remedies, some of you have received the remedies already. Yay! Even Singapore already, which I think is really exciting. Some of you in the UK already received it, which I kind of expected. But if you're somewhere else in the world, don't worry if you haven't gotten them yet. I will continue to update the post in the group when remedies have been dispatched. I'm aware that some of your orders haven't been dispatched yet, and I will chase up the pharmacy on that. So if you're one of those people, then know that I'm on top of it. I just noticed that I got a message in the group, and I wonder if it's about the live, so maybe I should check it out. Oh, it's just Heather cheering me on. That's great. So, you guys, if you would answer this question for me as well. Oh, where did I? Oh, back. Sorry. I had my list of questions that I want to make sure I have in front of me. I see one of you has joined. Oh, Akisti, you have joined. That's great. Hi, lovely. So I don't feel like I'm completely talking into the black outer space. But what I wanted to ask you guys, if you could comment below on this video or on the playback if I post it in the group, how you feel about this group, how it's working, if there's another way I should be organizing questions or something along those lines. I want to work it out with you together. But I think it's time that I go into the questions because I have a tendency to just ramble. So let's go into that. The first question I've got here is from Dirta. Is that how I pronounce it? I hope that's right. She writes, I decided to go on the metal detox, method 1 first. Could I go on the contraceptives detox right afterwards? Could I go on the steroid detox sometime later, for example, next year? It's great that you're starting with the metals because you completely should be starting with the metals. I've tried to bring that across as much as possible. There's an order of doing the detoxes. If you need to do metals, start with the metals. If you need to do steroids, do that next. If you don't need to do the metals, then start with the steroids. So that's how you have that order. Metals, steroids, and then any of the other detoxes that you might need to do. And if you need to do labor, fertility, or contraceptives, then do it in the order that you last had them. So I know I've mentioned this before, but I think it's worthwhile to say it again right at the beginning that you guys are starting. So for example, maybe you used to have contraceptives as a teen, then you tried to conceive and you had difficulties, you had fertility drugs, you conceived, and then you gave birth and you had an epidural and you had Pitocin to start the labor. Then you start with the labor drugs, then you do the fertility drugs, then you do the contraceptives. So I hope that makes sense. So Dirta, to answer your question, great that you're starting with the metals, but you should definitely do the steroids afterwards. There's not a huge point for you to be doing the contraceptives first. Right, and that's fine that you're doing the method 1. I mean, everything is clear in the protocols, I hope, on how to choose between one or the other. Anna has a question. I have a question regarding detox of the contraceptives. Do you suggest any additional supplements to be taken with it, like in detoxing metals? That's a good question. I didn't include it in the protocols because I didn't feel like it was so vital to help you detox those hormones. With the metals, it is very important that you have a couple of things to support the detoxing mechanism of your body. That's less the case with the hormones. However, you will be focusing on improving your hormone balance and on egg quality. So I would suggest to take the supplements that I mentioned in the egg quality video. I will link it below. Let me write it down. Oh, I can type it at the top here. Things that I want to make sure I inform you on. Egg quality video. Link it below. So watch that, but I can just give you a quick overview of what I put all my patients on, all my fertility patients, to support their hormone balance as well as their egg and sperm production. And that is a good multivitamin. You've got ones for males specifically for fertility, and then you've got your prenatals for women, of course. I would choose, if you can, a prenatal that hasn't got folic acid but has folate instead. Then vitamin D is very important. Depends on where you live in the world, how much sunshine you're getting as well. But a lot of us in the West, I mean, you can see how pale I am. We don't get a lot of vitamin D because we're inside, and if we go outside, we put on sunscreen or, whatever. So I recommend in summertime for like pale people like me to have at least 2,000 international units a day. So you can kind of play around with that. In winter, I will take 5,000. So if you aren't sure about this, write a question about that below, because it's kind of hard to make a suggestion for everybody that's exactly the same. But if you have really dark skin, then it's even more important for you to have more vitamin D, because you will not take it up as easily. You won't take up the sunshine easily and produce it yourself. Then we've got the omega fatty acids. That's really important. I like to recommend Bioastophilus, so that is your probiotics, because it's important for you to have a healthy gut lining. This is also important when you take the metals, of course, because you want to be able to get rid of the toxins properly. Vitamin C is an important one. I love that one. I recommend at least 1,000 milligrams a day, but initially you could take 2,000 and then you spread it out, because this is an antioxidant, so that will really protect the DNA of your sperm and eggs, etc., but also with the detoxing of the metals, I mentioned it. Alkisa, you're asking, do you also take magnesium with D? Yeah, I do. I love magnesium. Magnesium is really important when you struggle with sleep. If you have like restless leg syndrome, for example, or you struggle with anxiety or with depression, because you take up a lot, you need a lot more magnesium when you're stressed out, and you're depleted of it a lot quicker. So topping up on that is useful. So as a maintenance dose, I would say 100 milligrams twice a day. But if you're in a super stressful period, or you're detoxing the metals and you kind of fall in that group, you can take 100 milligrams up to 5 times a day. Make sure you always take it with food. So Anna, I hope that kind of answers your question. It's probably a bigger question than I thought of. Maybe I should just type out. That's what I'll do. Post with supplements. I'll just post what I recommend, what I put all my patients on that I work one-to-one with. And then you can have a look. Alkisti, you also asked me a question in the group. You received the heavy metal detox protocol. You read it quickly, you read it thoroughly. They had one question also about supplements. You're also taking vitamin D, CoQ10, myo-inositol, iodine, and during the first part of your cycle, you take primrose. Should I stop taking them while doing the heavy metals detox and just take vitamin C, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty oils as you suggest? No, you can continue with all the other ones. They're absolutely fine. If you want to pause on it, that's not a bad idea because it is a lot to take at the same time and might be good for you to just focus on the metals and then on supporting the metal detox. But if you want to continue to take all of those, it's absolutely fine. You're asking me also live in the video, is it true that D consumes magnesium? I'm not sure about that question. I think maybe you're asking if it binds with magnesium and that you are depleted of magnesium quicker. I'm not sure about this specific mechanism. I know that there's a lot of interactions like that. I can look into it. Oh, that's it. I can look into it. If I see anything interesting or relevant, magnesium and vitamin D, then I'll let you know in the next video. And if you don't hear anything from me about it, that it's fine. Don't worry about it. Monica, I am doing the hormonal detox method too. Yay, good for you. I'm so excited you're doing that. Do you have to follow the same rules as method 1, where we can't drink or eat 15 minutes prior or after the pill? Do you have to finish all the water in a course of 1 hour? These are great questions. I kind of expected these questions. It was a bit too much to put into the protocols, but I'm glad you asked. Don't worry about the eating or drinking before starting the hour of the water or after when you are doing method 2, because the reason that you shouldn't be eating or drinking anything else when you're taking the remedies is that it can antidote. It's the same with brushing teeth. But if you are sitting down for an hour and sipping that remedy, then you won't have that risk as much of antidoting. I wouldn't recommend to actually be eating during that hour, like a dinner or something. But if you want to have a tiny snack in between, don't worry about it. Let's keep it practical. And you don't have to finish all the water in the course of 1 hour. The whole point is that basically when you take a remedy as a pill, it is like you are reading a little booklet and getting the information. And when you do the individualized dosing method, so you're sitting down for an hour and sipping, it's as if the remedy sits down with your body and mentors your body for an hour and says, okay, so you remember this one time you were taking contraceptives. Well, let's go back to that time. Do you remember the effect it had on your system? Do you see it still has an effect on your system? Let's do something about it. And it kind of nudges your body over and over and over. It gives you that message several times within that hour. So you also don't have to take it like every minute or every 15 minutes or, just go with your intuition. Just make sure you have plenty of sips within that hour. And if one time is 50 minutes, 50, 50, or 45, that's okay. Just make sure that you don't skip a day. If you risk skipping a day, it's better to have half an hour of individualized dosing than not at all. You mentioned Monica also asked, you mentioned to stop for a couple of days if we notice any positive or negative reactions. What would be considered a positive reaction? What if I confuse my random headaches with a reaction? Do I stop anyway? That's a great question. I love your questions. These are good. It shows that you're getting it. And I really am happy about that because I'm working this way and you never know how it works out. But it seems like it's working. So a positive reaction could be that you suddenly have a great night of sleep, or you suddenly feel a lot more calmer, or if you're used to getting headaches a certain time of your cycle and you're not getting them at all, or you're not getting any PMT symptoms, or your your period is shorter and you're within that detox, that is a sign to stop. I hope that kind of answers your question. But if you get any symptoms, this is what you ask in the group. That's what the group is for right now. What if I confuse my random headaches with a reaction? That's okay. That's okay. If you think it is a random headache, then you're probably going to know deep inside and you just continue. If the next day you're getting the headache again, then you're probably going to think, sounds like a reaction, and then you stop. You're also asking if there's a best time of cycle to start detoxing. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, except for the metals, of course. If you think you might be pregnant or there's a chance that you're pregnant, wait until you have your period. Will we be sharing our charts with you to review? I would love that. Maybe I should do a charts thread separately in the group. Or you can post the charts for the next Q&A and I can review them. That's even better. Yeah? So I will make sure to post after this video a post for next week's questions. Then you can put all your questions for next week in there, but you can also put in your charts. Sounds like a good plan? Sorry that the screen keeps wobbling. I'm sitting at my desk and then bumping into it. Alkisti also has another question. So for the metal detox, is it better to start at the beginning of your cycle? Yeah, unless you are before ovulation and you want to start then, but you decide that you're not going to try and conceive that one. So that's fine. But if there's any chance at all that you've made use of your fertile window and that you could be pregnant, then wait until your next cycle starts. Heather asks, could you talk about detoxing heavy metals and if that can help estrogen dominance? Well, I can't go into that too deeply, like the mechanisms, because that would be an entire video, but yes, it completely can. And the reason for this is, the simple answer is metals, they hide out in our organs and our glands. So if they hide out in our glands, including our thyroid, our adrenals, then they can completely disrupt our hormonal balance. And that can also lead to estrogen dominance. You have low estrogen, but still estrogen dominant because my progesterone is that low. Well, that's good that you wrote that. This could be due to the fact that your adrenals are super important when it comes to progesterone production. So if the metals are hiding out in there, then that could be a part of your story. Your poor diet, you think, played a role. I'm sure of that. Yeah, so good that you're cleaning that up or already have. And you're right. You also have, I'm confused if I should go back to intense exercise that worked before or if it would be bad in regards to cortisol after watching your videos of adrenals. No, intense exercise will be good. So I just don't really recommend it in the 2-week wait if you're not that trained in it. But you can do moderate exercise. So that's a good idea. Heather also has another question. This might be a different Heather. We've got two. Isn't that cool? I love that name. You had mentioned Epsom salt baths can help the detox process. Yeah, this is mainly for the metals. It's great for any kind of hormonal detoxes, but in a different way. When it comes to the metals, it literally helps you to get rid of the metals. When you use the Epsom salts as part of your detox hormonally, it is to bring up your magnesium and calm down your adrenals and help your hormonal system in that way. So then you're asking me about bentonite clay. Yes, you can use that as well for metals. What is my general opinion on quality of bentonite clay? I don't have one. Maybe I should have one. I don't know. Maybe you can ask me more specific what your question is, but I don't have a general opinion. I just get a brand that I like if I use it, but I haven't in years, but some of my patients do, and I think it's fine. Brittany asks, hey, that's weird. That's the same question. Now I'm confused. Maybe it was Brittany that asked this question, not Heather. I don't know. Maybe I posted Heather's question in Brittany's. I'm going to have a look later if I missed something. And then Fatima is also asking, the remedies we will receive will be enough to share with the spouse as well. Absolutely. And kids too. So you will have plenty of those. That's why I sent them out through the pharmacy in London. That might take you a little bit longer. A lot of you are in the States, so I could have sent it through a pharmacy in the US, but then you would have only had a few pills, and I wanted to make sure that you had plenty to do either of the two methods, and to detox your partners and kids or parents if you wanted to do that. And then I got an anonymous question as well. So in the messenger bit, this person is starting on the metals. Oh, yes, sorry, the metals. And they want to do together with their partner, and they're asking if their 5-year-old kid can do it too. Actually, yes. I have a lot of colleagues that are specialized in autism and ADHD, and mental detoxes are a huge part of that. So the kids are being detoxed often as well. So you can do that for sure. That would be good. Have the whole family on it. So let me check in the group if I missed Brittany's question. Oh, Casey, you're so sweet for joining me. At least it's you and I together, live, right? Members' questions. I'm pretty sure Brittany asked something. Still getting to understand this group. But I like it. I like that we're off Facebook. Oh, see, Brittany, you had a different question, and I posted it wrong in my document. Brittany asks, thank you for this group. Oh, sweet. I'm excited to do this with you guys. Do you have a brand or dosage recommended for vitamin C and magnesium? Okay, so I talked about the vitamin C and magnesium. And so the dosage, the brand, I like to use BioCare. I will include that in the post that I promised I would put up with the supplements. This is from the UK. The reason I like it is because it is really well put together and researched, but I especially like that the uptake is high. A lot of the cheaper brands, they are filled with fillers, and the uptake isn't very, very high. It's maybe 20% or so. I'm sorry, I have issues talking today. You're really getting to know the behind the scenes Fleur, aren't you? Not the YouTube Fleur that has been edited. But BioCare has it around 80%. Depends on which product you have, of course. And that's why I like it. But I'm pretty sure that in the States or in other parts of the world, you'll be able to find good quality supplements as well. What I would look for is a brand that is called orthomolecular, because that means that the supplements have been put together in a way that your body can take it up better. And you have another question, whether method 1 is a faster way to detox. Well, especially for heavy metals, you're asking, Brittany. The thing is, that depends. It can seem like it's faster because you are doing 8 weeks and then you're done. But because you don't know if you've cleared everything, you might need to repeat it. But not everybody needs to repeat it. It's something we just don't know. The individualized dosing method, though, if you go through it without any symptoms, you're done in 6 weeks. So that would be shorter. But if you do get reactions, that shows you that you are really addressing some of the toxic layers and you need to pause and start again, then it will take longer. So that is why I'm offering you both methods so you can make that choice. My preference, I'll be honest, is the individualized dosing method. I have learned this from a really great homeopath in the Netherlands who for some reason isn't known across the world. It's not the well-known detox guy because he does the protocol stuff. This is a different one, really humble man. But I noticed that it was so much easier to really clear layers and actually see somebody reacting to the remedies. So I think it's much better, and that's why I've been using it a lot and implementing it. But I realized that it's not for everybody. If you would choose between the individualized and dosing method or not detoxing at all, I'd say do the protocol, please. Do the protocol, do something. And this is often the case for partners that aren't really on board and they don't want to mess around with individualized dosing. I say do the 8 weeks. For contraceptives, fertility drugs, and And labor drugs, I will often put people on the 8-week protocol and see how they react, and then maybe do an individualized dosing method afterwards. So we've cleared a lot, and then do that one. For the metals and the steroids, I will always go for the individualized dosing method. Again, unless somebody isn't really committed, and that's often one of the two of a couple. I hope that helps. But it shows that I'm trying to empower you. You make the decision. I don't tell you what to do. I just offer it. And then Heather has a question that you posted just now. Is it best to start the metal detox at the beginning of a cycle, or can I go begin anytime? Can I go begin? That's cute. So I already answered that. Yeah. So if you think you could be pregnant, if you're in the second half of your cycle and you have made use of your fertile window, then wait until cycle day 1, and otherwise go for it. So a lot of you can already get started because you have your protocols, you have your remedies. I should have answered your most pressing questions. So get started and let me know in the coming week how you're doing. Share your experiences with each other. Write your comments and your questions in the post that I'll put up soon for next week. And yeah, I'm excited for you guys to start. And I am anxious for the people to get their remedies that haven't gotten them yet. But it's fine. You don't need to start right now. This is why we have the 6 weeks to do this. You can start at any time. And yeah, I haven't got much more to say. I can just ramble, but let's not. I'm on less than half an hour, and I think that's really good for me. And I wish you a lovely rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend, and see you guys next week. Or actually, you see me. I don't see you, unfortunately. If you want to post pictures, some of you have. That's really nice. I love being able to put a face to your name. Take care, you guys. Bye. Bye, Alkisty. Thanks for joining me.